and context for ChatGPT in education. It's a review of empirical studies from a qualitative analysis. And to start with the topic, let's introduce a short introduction part. So critical dialogue with ChatGPT students are actively involved in generating ideas, reflecting on learning content, exploring explanations for wrong solutions, and deeply thinking about their solutions. And ChatGPT enriches personalized teaching materials and reduces teachers' workload by generating formative and productive feedback to improve learner performance. On the other hand, ChatGPT is showing survival weakness as well. As a chatbot driven by LLMs, ChatGPT is not good at handling images, especially for the free version. And the accuracy of ChatGPT's generated outputs is occasionally questionable, which is limited by the trained data. The critical and reasoning abilities of ChatGPT do not satisfy users' expectations. It also presents certain challenges to the traditional formal education system, such as plagiarism, academic dishonesty, productivity, creative, and critical thinking decrease harmed by over-reliance on ChatGPT and superficial learning. Even though some education stakeholders trying to ban the usage of ChatGPT in education, different voices are expressed their support for meaningfully and effectively using ChatGPT to assist teaching and learning. For example, Law explains that the misuse of this tool often results from a lack of knowledge and understanding of its proper use, and encourages the development of clear guidelines for the acceptable use of AI tools like ChatGPT. How to effectively use LLMs-driven ChatGPT is a complex topic, and one of the main concerns is prompting. And for this study, we focus on prompt engineering. Prompt engineering has become a focal point in efforts to make ChatGPT more effective in educational contexts. However, there remains a gap in understanding the types of data embedded within prompts and how they reflect the teaching and the learning context in which ChatGPT is deployed. To contribute to the construction of prompts for ChatGPT in education, this review is guided by two research questions about data embedded in prompting. For the research question one is what general information can be found in empirical articles with prompt details in the field of ChatGPT usage in education, such as educational levels, knowledge domains, research methods, data source embedded in prompting, data collection methods. And research question two is what teaching and learning experience can be summarized from the data fed into ChatGPT and their usage context. For the research methods, we followed a PRISM guideline in research review, including identification, screen, equilibrity included, and two databases, including Web of Science and Scopus, and two parts of a streaming session stream. One is about ChatGPT, another is about education. And for data analysis, this article uses a semantical analysis. We follow the 6-step proposed by Brown and Clark. The extracted data were aggregated in Excel for further analysis. And during the data extraction, we mainly focus on three kind of data. First is about general information like education level, knowledge domain, research methods, and the objective is to use ChatGPT affordance in education, and the data source, data including data source, data collection method. At the end of several round of for test reading, 102 empirical studies left, and In general, for the results in general regarding the domain, language learning and computer science gain more attention. And the second most popular domains were education, and the third most popular were chemistry, mathematics, and medicine. And for the research methods, 57 articles used the qualitative methods, and 22 articles used the quantitative methods, and 23 used the mixed methods. For the ChatGPT affordance in education, to better understand the construction of prompts in educational scenarios and the tasks at a general level, it is essential to extract the usage scenarios and the affordance. As shown in this table, ChatGPT provides more diverse affordance in two course phases, during the courses and after the courses. Such as during the courses, we will provide critical thinking support, problem solving, or project based or inquiry based learning support. It also provide reasoning support and so on. And for the data part, regarding data source embedded into prompting, we found that the data source mainly include course level materials, ChatGPT generated articles, university level materials, level collected materials, open access data, textbooks over domain knowledge or questions, national level materials, and MOOCs or materials from MOOCs or other online platform. And for data collection methods, the most common data collection and analysis paths involved collecting conversation data between humans and ChatGPT, and then comparing the differences between human-generated answers and ChatGPT-generated answers, either qualitatively or quantitatively. And for the research question two, what experience can we get from the articles for educators regarding pedagogical aspects to enrich students' critical or reasoning thinking? Teachers and stakeholders should consider investigative pedagogical approaches that leverage ChatGPT and similar Gen AI tools in classroom. For example, including ChatGPT into learning by discovering, using ChatGPT to stimulate students deeply thinking about their solutions, combine other AI tools to generate multimodal products. And teachers also play an important role in refining articles from ChatGPT and strategically introduce ChatGPT and similar tools. With experts in specific domains, teachers can use their prior knowledge and critical thinking skills to adapt ChatGPT articles to deliver a more personalized educational context for students. And for students, ChatGPT can provide around-the-clock personalized learning support and problem-solving guidance. For learning or teaching materials that are not customized for a specific domain, learners can also use ChatGPT to reformulate the same research questions or question statements from a general domain to a specific domain, such as in probability and statistical courses, which could save time for this task, as whether done by teachers or students. And collaborating with ChatGPT or similar Gen AIs, students need and would possibly improve digital literacy, AI literacy, and self-reflection skills. Users need to be aware of what task to complete or skills to develop, outline a ChatGPT usage workflow, and have alternative solutions when ChatGPT does not meet the task requirements, such as the AI-assisted workflow developed by prompt. And for the last part about conclusion and further studies, from the results of the source of data embedded in the prompting and data collection method, it can be found that diverse sources of data can be embedded in the prompt, and multiple methods can be used to analyze ChatGPT articles. Course level materials and ChatGPT articles were commonly used. Moreover, users can develop and accumulate from prompting archives or dataset by collecting prompts and discussions with them with other users. This article found that the data from conversations between ChatGPT and humans and the service of users' perception were also methods to analyze the effectiveness of prompt construction. And the second point for the conclusion is as shown in ChatGPT or founders in education, Gen AI tools take an assistant role to help learners complete tasks. But the important points are still on the cultivation of high-level knowledge and skills. It is detailed that the scaffolding
5 more
of
minutes.
yeah, it's deduced that the scaffolding of cognition and metacognition during the ChatGPT usage process would improve student efficiency and effectiveness of prompting construction. This can be supported by the ChatGPT funnels in the education section. It was found that ChatGPT was adopted to provide support for critical thinking, problem solving, self-reflection, and deep thinking. So that's all of this presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Wenting. Thank you so much for your